MI6 is helping to draft a secret UK dossier on Trump's return to power. We're going to read into this exclusive from iNews, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from iNews with the headline that MI6 is helping to draft a secret UK dossier on Trump's return to power. Security officials are working with the Foreign Office to renew the impact on Mr. Trump becoming president for the second time if he wins. Guys, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can, hit the like button and share this across social media so other people are notified of this video. President Trump. This is whatever you might think of the case that's going against him or whatever your position is about Trump or Biden. There's one thing for certain is that this man is not out until he is literally behind bars, literally in prison. He will not go down fighting. Yeah, he will fight tooth and nail to win the presidential election. And I know he's a dangerous man. He's a very dangerous man. There's no question about it. And I actually sympathise with Americans having to choose between two old white men for their next president, which I think is absolutely disgraceful from both Republicans and Democrats for not getting a newer, younger candidate that could actually take America forward in a different direction rather than once again sticking with the old. Is my personal opinion. But it's up to America to decide what they want to do with their future. But in terms of this, the British government and MI6, we've got to be ready for it, for whatever happens, whether it's Biden with another 4 years potentially, or if it's Trump coming back with 4 years in power. The United Kingdom needs to be ready for it, and the relationship between the UK and the US needs to be strong. I think it's very, very important. It's important for many, many reasons. We have lots of negotiations and deals with the US. We have a very strong connection with them, and it's really important that we maintain that, and it does not get undermined, even with the choice of a president like Donald Trump, as many of us and many people on my channel vehemently don't like and disagree with him and his policies. And we will have to adapt if he becomes president. And obviously the world is going to there's going to be significant changes across the world if he becomes into power as well, which we've covered on numerous occasions, what will happen if he does become president. So what exactly is MI6 prepping for exactly with this? So let's read into it, guys. So, officers from MI6 are helping to prepare the UK government dossier on the national security implications of Donald Trump returning to power in the US, the eye can reveal. Security officials are working with the Foreign Office on a report reviewing the potential impact of Mr. Trump becoming president a second time if he wins the autumn US election, a serving intelligence source told the Eye. Analysts from MI6, the UK's foreign intelligence agency, are assessing the impact of Trump's presidency on national security and international diplomacy. The work is in part of a wider dossier being put together, led by the Foreign Office, first revealed by the Eye in January. Now, this actually should not be surprising. If you actually really think about it, you know, he's already shown to be extremely dangerous with classified documents, and obviously, because of the relationship that we have with America, you feel as the British government would do, feel compelled to share certain information and certain secrets with America because of that relationship that we have with them. Same relationship that I think we have a strong relationship with France, for example, or there's certain things that nations will share with each other. But I feel like, that America and Britain have always had a strong relationship. It has waned since Brexit. There's no question that the relationship has waned since Brexit. There's no question about that. But it is still there. It's not the perfect relationship, I would say. But in terms of security and intelligence to protect itself from Mr. Trump, I think it's really, really important that MI6 prepares itself for any inevitable outcome. Because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of changes, not just in America but across the globe if he comes back in, and whether you like it or don't like it, we as the United Kingdom or all four nations needs to be ready for it, for whatever comes from a potential Trump 4-year presidency. There is a report prepared by a dedicated team of MI6 analysts who would have looked at Mr. Trump's possibility of winning, and they have gamed out scenarios that, if that were to happen, the intelligence source told the Eye. This is an intelligence report listing the impact to national security at home and abroad, including the UK's relationship with the US, as well as an impact to ongoing conflicts in Europe and the Middle East. So there will be significant, obviously, as well, the change. I don't know. Before I talk about the Middle East, obviously the change would be significantly with regards to the war in Ukraine, as we've highlighted. Mr. Trump has made it very clear that he wants to stop supporting and supplying American finances to Ukraine, and he would be more than happy to let Putin take Ukraine. He wants America to kind of stop investing in that area whatsoever. As regards to the Middle East, I still don't know exactly what Trump's position fully is on the Gaza situation. My assumption is, based on these past time as president, is that he's kind of going to let things carry on there. He's not exactly going to do anything to upset Israel. He's more than happy to support Israel, and he showed that, didn't he? Because I believe under his presidency, he was the one that moved the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem as well, and announced and as well. So he's very much. I'm pretty sure he's not very much bothered about what's happening in Gaza, if I'm absolutely honest. As for other Middle Eastern relationships, it's interesting to see what he does with those relationships. That's for sure. It really will shake up the Middle East if Trump does become president. That's for sure. While Foreign Office staff use formal routes to gather information, MI6 will be using more secretive methods to glean information about incumbent Trump administration plans overseas, according to a second source who is a former MI6 field officer. Mr. Trump remains the frontrunner for the Republican nomination in November's US election, despite him facing 91 criminal charges, including allegations of attempting to overturn the results of the 2020 election, election interference, falsifying business records, and mishandling classified records after leaving office. 5 serving and former intelligence officers with experience working for MI6 said the dossier was bread and butter, working in order to plan and prepare for the incumbent leader. They said it was commonplace for the intelligence service and foreign office to work together to look at the impact of transitioning governments, especially those of the UK allies. A serving US security source told the Eye that he can't blame the UK for looking at the impact of a Trump government, and that any good intelligence agency would be doing so. They said intelligence officers on both sides of the Atlantic will work hard to maintain an open and cooperative relationship, no matter who won the upcoming election. And that's exactly what they should try and do. They should try and maintain that relationship, regardless of how they personally feel about a certain president in charge, or whatever political party. That should always be the case. It is understood that the intelligence report from MI6 will be cleared and sent to officials in the Foreign Office who are compiling the dossier. This will include a list of recommendations for the government to best prepare for a second Trump presidency. The MI6 analysis is looking at key geopolitical issues, including US involvement in NATO and the military and economic support of Trump's support for Ukraine's fight against Russian invasion, the serving UK intelligence source added. To the UK, Biden is a known entity, but Trump presents a wildcard both domestically and internationally, and the UK should be looking at the impact if he were to win the election, a US intelligence source said. A Trump presidency means NATO is on the table, Ukraine's support is on the table, and UK intelligence will be prepared for a number of outcomes. As with any new foreign leader, there are major implications for national security, especially when it involves your closest international ally. He added, whatever the outcome of the upcoming US election, the intelligence and sharing of cooperation between the UK and US would not be damaged, as both parties would work to maintain a good and strong intelligence sharing relationship. One source says, we are vital allies to one another, and while politics may change, the officers and analysis don't, and the need for the continuation of open cooperation and issues abroad will be key. The revelations come weeks after the Eye first revealed the existence of UK Commonwealth dossier into a second Trump term. The Foreign Office is taking the lead on the work and drawing up intelligence on how a second Trump presidency could affect Britain across a range of areas. Britain's ambassador to Washington, Dame Karen Peace, is understood to be a key figure along with the UK envoy to NATO and the United Nations. Karen will be doing a lot of feeding through of intelligence on what she is picking up, a source previously told the Eye. With the US election coming later this year, Mr. Trump has emerged as a Republican Party's frontrunner, though lawsuits in several states seek to have him disqualified from the presidency for his role in the storm of the Capitol Hill on January the 6th of 2021. Three former intelligence officers told the Eye the analysis of MI6 would be hard to work to try and get ahead of the marginal impact of a second Trump presidency. A former intelligence officer who now works within the government department told the Eye that many in the civil service were urging such a report some time ago when the prospect of his return was just a realistic possibility rather than what it seems like a reasonable probability. The ex-MI6 field officer said the intelligence service are figuring out where the global chess pieces will be moved under Mr. Trump using various techniques and glean insight into his geopolitical plans. They will be speaking to middle-ranking Republicans and getting their thoughts, they told the Eye. They're trying to get a picture on what the incoming government will do, and there will be normal avenues that will be explored through the Foreign Office and diplomats. There will be more shadowy sides where MI6 will be chatting to people to glean info out. Last month, three senior ex-diplomats urged the government to protect the UK from massive security risk if Mr. Trump was elected US president in November. Two ex-Washington ambassadors and a former diplomat chief told the Eye that preparations must be drawn up to help the UK cope if Mr. Trump were to end US support for Ukraine and withdraw from NATO. Simon MacDonald, head of the Foreign Office until 2020, said the UK should be looking at the implications of a Trump presidency, which are massive. Sir Mark Loyne, a former senior British diplomat who was previously the United Kingdom's national security advisor and permanent representative of the United Kingdom to the United Nations, told the Eye that such preparations for an incumbent president is normal process. Sir Mark was the UK's first national security advisor. Sir Mark was the UK's national security advisor during the first Trump election and his inauguration as US president in 2017. He said that the Cabinet Office and long-time intelligence officials were doing similar work at the time. We were looking at the implications if Trump were to win. What posture we would take on various different policy issues, he told the Eye. In that sense, his process is a normal one. So Mark revealed that after looking at potential impacts, the UK government contacted the Trump administration to try and influence politics. They believe he was drawing up on NATO and Iran, using the period before the inauguration to do so. Last time we had some contacts with the Trump team in advance of the inauguration, he said. We had the opportunity also to feed in our own views on the top issues of the day in an attempt to influence their thinking as they were finalising their policy. He added, I assume that would be the case again because that is sort of a normal practice. I think this is standard stuff based on this article, what they're trying to implement here. I think this is standard stuff, especially for the relationship that we have with the US. I think it's general standard stuff, if I'm absolutely honest, with this. But perhaps it is a bit more cautious and a bit more careful than before because of who the man is, potentially. I think if it was another 4 years of Biden, I don't think they would need to be I think it would just be business as usual. I think it would be with the two. But perhaps there are more things that they need to be concerned about, perhaps, if Trump does come in. But most of this is kind of bread and butter things that we don't really hear about. And I think it's really important to know that MI6 is keeping an eye out, and MI6 is preparing for this potential outcome. We hope it's not the outcome. I generally don't want Trump to win, personally. But I also understand why Americans don't want Biden for another 4 years as well. Despite he has done a lot of good things, I can understand why Americans don't want the choice of these two sometimes as well. But what I will say is that it's good that MI6 are basically making sure they have everything prepared, and hopefully we will be fine. The United Kingdom will be fine, but obviously what impact it will have if Trump was to win would be very scary, that is to say the least. So what do you guys make of this? What do you guys make of MI6 drafting a secret dossier on Trump? Do you think this is just standard practice, or do you think there's more to this just because it may possibly be Donald Trump? Let me know what you guys honestly think about that in the comments section down below. If you found this video interesting, if you can hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it, and share it across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or joining me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.